Hey, hey, hey. Girl, why was you cheesing so hard just then? Like, what?
I said, ha ha.
Oh, okay. We ain't see all that. We just saw
No,
teeth. Teethuses.
right. All we saw was teethuses in the screen. Like,
Mm-mm. Yeah.
So, what are you drinking on today? It's been a while since we asked for the flavors of what we sipping on.
Strawberries and cream. I'm having me a shot of Bailey's strawberries and cream, and it is delicious. I was
Okay.
debating on making me a strawberries and cream daiquiri, but I decided I was just gonna take my shots today. Yes,
All right.
but frou shots with the pinky up.
Put your pinky up to the moon. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that hurt. Never mind.
Mm, mm, mm.
I gotta remember this hand is still like healing. It's still on the convalescent list.
Ain't nothing wrong with my alcoholic hands.
So this evening, I am sipping on some cranberry juice, a little clear whiskey. What else I put in here?
Clear whiskey. Whoa. They
Yeah, it's
got
got a hint of a
they
cinnamon
got
flavor.
clear, they got
Yeah.
clear whiskey. They got clear whiskey.
I'm gonna send you a picture of it. Yeah, I it's a distillery I go to in Tennessee every year, a couple of times a year, and get some. It is so good. They have one that's got a little hint of cinnamon flavor to it. But I got that, a little bit of apple juice and lime juice. Yep.
I could
Now
get
you
down
know
with clear.
all whiskey is clear until they put it in a barrel, right? It gets this color from the barrel.
Oh, okay, okay. I know I had some was it might have been Ciroc brandy that was also cured in like I guess a wine vat. So I guess it's in a barrel and it makes it like kind of like a brown. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't because I know also for those that follow keto,
No.
um no, but seriously, there are people that follow keto, and one of the reasons you don't drink brown liquor is because it has extra sugar
Huh. Okay.
in it.
Learn something new every day.
So I stay away from the browns. You'll always see me drinking the whites. So
So
yeah.
that depends on if it's like because a lot of people do add like coloring to their liquor as well to make it darker. So
Mhm.
that's what could be adding the extra sugars. But if it's just straight up liquor that's just straight up been distilled and put in a barrel, it's going to have the same amount of sugar in it. I mean, unless you are putting it in like a wine barrel,
Mhm.
then it's picking up the notes from the wine. It could be absorbing some sugars from that because the wood is going to absorb whatever's in
Right.
it. And then whatever you put in there after that is going to release into that.
You know, I had Ron Zacapa. Now that's the only brown that I really like. It's a rum that's
Mm-hmm.
cured at the highest elevations in Brazil, and it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. When I tell you
It's a
it's amazing,
it's a
and it's
very
very
it's a
smooth.
very it's a very very good run.
Yeah, it's very very smooth. That being said, I have noticed an increase in the price of those that we have to import.
Yep.
Very stiff increase. But let me tell you the biggest increase in price that I've seen in the last 6 months.
What's
Do
that?
tell.
Coffee. I
Really?
went
Uh,
into I went into BJ's to get coffee, and the Folgers they usually cost me like between $9 and $12 for the real big one that's like 360 cups, $20.
That's still cheaper than going
I was gonna say, is
going
that
to
expensive? I would thought that was like,
It's almost double in price because
okay,
$9 is like usually what I would pay, but now $9 and $10. I mean, the highest I'd ever seen it was 12, and it is now
gotcha,
$20 for
It's
coffee.
still
gotcha.
cheaper than going to Starbucks though.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but that's the thing. It's like these are unintended consequences of a lot of these different things because some of these things we can't grow in the US, and we're going to find that they're going to be unaffordable soon for the average person. Like people don't think about the fact that bananas, some people they eat a banana a day, potassium and stuff like that. But they don't think about the fact we don't grow bananas here. All our bananas come
But
from
you
Central America.
can.
You see what?
No,
I
we
said,
can't.
but you can.
No, we can't. We don't have the
You
right
you
climate.
can you can
Yes, you
do
can.
you can create the
You mean
climate.
like in a greenhouse?
Uh-huh. You can
Yeah,
create the climate.
yeah, because that's what I'm doing right now. I have some grapevines and some banana plants that I'm growing, and I'm working on my garden so that I can put a greenhouse over it to keep this certain stuff in the ground, and certain stuff is in like movable buckets right now as it grows until it's ready to go in the ground. And we're gonna put like a hoop greenhouse on top of all of it so that we can keep it nurtured year round. Because I also have some tropical plants, just because I miss home. So I'm like, I need more tropical shit. So I
Right,
have
right.
those. Yes, I have them on the porch and the deck now, but they're gonna go in the greenhouse too, and then come out next season.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a lot of things that we are going to take for granted. They're either going to become scarce or they're going to become severely overpriced.
I mean, what the hell ain't? Because just I went to the liquor store the other day and just even the rum you were talking about. When
Mhm.
I looked at it and I'm like, they want how much for that bottle? They wanted $65 for a fifth of that, and I'm like, hey, come on now,
And it used to
that's
be
ridiculous.
yeah, it used to be $65 for like a decent sized bottle, but like a liter, I think. But now it's not. Yeah,
That's crazy. Like
yeah.
I'm
But
like,
I
wow.
mean, it is wild, and that's the thing. Is like I've also noticed shrinkflation, where they're
Oh
shrinking
That's
the
that's
substance.
been that's been going on forever.
They're shrinking the things on the inside, so
it's
like
getting
people
worse.
think that they're getting the same potato chips, for example.
It's
Like
getting worse.
yeah, the potato chips, the bag is the same size, but now it's 9 ounces and it used to be 13.
Hmm. But I mean, it's been 9 ounces for a minute. I
No,
mean,
it's
that's been
been
going
9 ounces
on.
since about the beginning of the year. Like,
Nah, you ain't been paying attention then,
trust me,
because
I'm an
it's
Instacarter baby. I
it's
know.
it's been it's been it's
I
been
Instacart.
shrinkflation. Shrinkflation has been happening ever since the fucking late '90s, early 2000s. I noticed
No,
that
but
shit because I get my favorite cereal and I'm like, yo, why am I paying so much more and it's less than this goddamn box?
right. I mean, but what I'm saying is just since the beginning of the year, I've noticed. And the reason I've noticed is because, like I said, I'm an Instacarter. And so a lot of times they'll have like the size that the person is expecting. And that same size box now is like 2 to 3 ounces smaller than when they first, I guess it's something that they order all the time. And, but it scans the same SKU code.
I
So
mean,
that's why I know it's like the same
I
box.
don't,
It's
I don't, I don't know. People just don't pay attention, but yeah, I pay
right.
attention when I shop, because I do my own
Right.
grocery shopping and I pay attention to shit like, yo, this
Mhm.
is crazy. But if you want it, you want it. But now I'm at the point where I'm like, shit, I'm about to start shopping at like
What the
food
nose? You gonna get
food
fat
king,
nose? Yeah.
some
I mean,
shit.
but we've been seeing like some of it since the pandemic, because like the price of eggs, like I used to get the 60 count eggs because I give them to my dogs a lot, for their skin and coat.
Mhm.
And the same 60 count of eggs that used to be like $3, $4, maybe $6 is
14.
ranging because sometimes it'll go, up and down, but it's been ranging between like $15 to $20.
Mhm.
And
That's crazy.
Man, I'm like, oh, dog food, all of it. Like some of my bigger, purchases that I have to make for the house every month for the fat head ass dogs, they bougie selves. I told them they gotta get some damn jobs. They getting too expensive with their bougie taste.
You better put them in some commercials or something.
Listen,
Right,
okay.
right. You got to
They need
earn
to
your
be some
keep, boo.
they need to be some flower kids, some ring bearers, some commercials, shit, something, some training dogs. Listen, somebody they need to get to it.
Right.
Somebody need to be contributing because they asses, and then they have the nerve to turn their nose up when they don't like something.
That part. That part. I said, listen, until you get a job, you're gonna eat what the fuck is given to you.
You won't put it in this bowl and leave it to the side if you don't want it. Because then mine got so bad they'll knock it over if they don't like it. I know the fuck you lying.
You know what mine do? Let me tell you what mine do. See, I mix their kibble with that refrigerated fresh pet.
I used to do that.
And I see them taking the kibble out and setting it in front of the bowl. I said, I tell you what, you'll eat that shit or you won't get nothing else until you do.
I stopped giving it to them because they would pull it out and eat the fresh pack, whatever it's called, and leave the dry food there or nose it around until it, like I mix all kind of stuff in their food, pumpkin and mashed potatoes and rice, different things just to give them nourishment. But them bitches so bougie now, they will nose it around and eat what they want. Oh, so now you're making a mess I gotta clean up on top of this.
That's what I
No.
told him. I was like, you're gonna stop putting that stuff in front of that bowl. I'll tell you what, it'll be waiting for you next meal because guess what? You won't get nothing else until you finish that.
So yes, I feel you, girl. I feel you. But I, even with business, like I completely changed my online shop to do fully digital download stuff right now because it was just it was getting to be a little bit too ridiculous for me with, with what I wanted to do with the crystals and the different things that we sell, because that weight adds up real quick when you talk about like $5, $10, $20 worth of crystals, And even though I was buying it wholesale, costs have gone up where I might do a wholesale order for 4, 5, 6,000. That same order now is like $10,000 because of shipping. And me trying to turn around and then cover that cost and then not go sky high on my prices in order to compete with a larger business that may be ordering $100,000 worth of wholesale, because the more you order, the cheaper it gets. But that along with the shipping costs continuing to go up, it was like, nah, we just gonna table this for right now and circle back to it, at a later date, whether that be a year from now or 6 months from now, or 2 years from now, whatever that looked like. So we went completely digital with the download stuff and audios and videos and stuff in the shop and just trying to make it as easy as possible because people still want help, but just because cost is going up doesn't mean everybody's paycheck is going up to be able to afford those costs that we as businesses are incurring. And even I've noticed with food, like a lot of the restaurants that I love, I've noticed that since the pandemic and even more recently in the past, this year, 9-10 months, that portion size is getting smaller and smaller and that price is going higher and higher. So that same dish might be, instead of 10, it might be 15. Instead of 20, now it's 30. Instead of 30, now it's 55. And that portion is getting, $100 a plate or $200, to eat.
And you're still hungry when you finish because before where you had leftovers, now you like, where's the rest of it?
Right. Before you get for $100, you're gonna get, appetizer, nice something to drink, an entree, something for dessert if you want it, add on something a la carte to your meal or whatever. Right. Now, that's what I'm saying. It used to be. Now.
Now they give you ice water. And lately, they used to give you tea with free refills. You couldn't get soda with free refills. But tea. Now they don't even do tea with free refills.
Yeah.
And I was like,
well, there's a place here that I love. What is it called? I don't remember. Anyway, it's kind of like a hibachi place, but instead of having they have the menu that you can choose from, but they also kind of have like this buffet set up where you can just go straight up and fix your bowl and then take it to them and they fix it on the hibachi and then bring it to your table. So I love this place, but I've noticed in the past year, because the bowl is about this big, about that big, and it's probably about that deep, right? It's a little metal bowl. Now, and it used to be people would pile high because as long as their rule of thumb was as long as you could fit it in the bowl, it counts. Well, now they've got a cap on it that it can only be like an inch above the top of the rim of the bowl. It's like all this stuff. And then they have eggs on there, and you could put extra eggs if you wanted, more fried eggs in your, stir fried rice or whatever. Now it's like the eggs have an extra cost, and I'm just looking at. But again, they're passing on the cost that they're incurring, right? So you can't even really be mad because some of it's ridiculous, but some of it you really can see that with the service, with the customers, like it's a good experience. It's not a bad experience, right? Their quality is good. You can really see that that dollar or two is going to the incurred cost that they now have to cover.
Did you
And
know?
see, I call bullshit on that because when you in that type of industry, okay, yeah, some things have gone up, but also you get shit from certain places like Restaurant Depot, Cisco, shit like that, where the price ain't that much affected. It may have gone up a little bit, but trust me, what they charge you, they making a killing. And they just
Restaurant
blame it.
Depot was
They
going
just
up
make
because I go to Restaurant
A
Depot
lot, like trust me.
Yeah,
I've got a
go to
Restaurant
Restaurant
Depot
Depot.
account. Besides the fact that I also shop for restaurants, let me tell you something. The other day, I was fighting for the customer because I thought they was overcharging the customer. I had a box of butter. It was 36 pounds of butter. So it was 36 blocks of butter, right? $112.
No, you fucking lying.
I wish. $112. And I was like, are you sure that's the right price? It was $112. And I was just like, okay. So, and the thing is do you guys remember a few months ago when the eggs had went up so high that they were charging surcharges if you went to like breakfast places that had eggs?
Yes.
You had a surcharge on top of the price for the eggs.
Or you can taste the difference. Because I've tasted it sometimes where you really can't tell the difference when they're using like fresh eggs versus some of the
liquid substitute.
Yeah, the liquid substitute. I know one of my fave meals if I go to a Chinese restaurant is egg foo young. And I know that this one restaurant, it was the first time I tried it. So I don't know what it used to taste like, but it was the first time I tried it at this one particular restaurant. When I was out running errands, I was like, well, I ain't gonna go to the other side of town where my place is. I'm gonna go. We'll never go back. Because the shrimp was banging, the vegetables was great, the rice was fine, but the eggs tasted like breaded patty with a little bit of egg mixed in just so they could call it egg. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I know that they're trying to save money, but I was real insulted. Like, I was real insulted.
Well, that sounded like they use powder eggs.
No, it's liquid. That liquid egg substitute is not really that great.
I know what egg substitute is, but I mean, if it tasted like it was breaded, that sounded like it was because egg substitute normally is like really greasy.
It's runny.
I don't know what it was, but it was not pleasing to the palate. Now I know a lot of people that because I'm in different homesteading groups as I'm learning about farming and like gardening and and I know a lot of the people are getting more into freeze drying their eggs like our grandparents used to get. Not freeze drying, I said that. I'm sorry, dehydrating their eggs like our grandparents used to get. And or just, where you can you dehydrate it and it turns it into powder because it dries it out so much and then you just put it in your little blender and then powder it up and put it in mason jars. And so a lot of people are turning back into that, routine so that when they catch them on sale or go to local farms or whatever, they can do that to get them affordably. You go through the process, dehydrate it, put it in your blender, powder it up, put it in your mason jars, put it in your, your shelves or whatever. I forget how long it's supposed to be shelf stable, but it's some years. And I think it's just a 1-to-1 ratio of, okay, I want to cook 3 eggs, whatever the tablespoon or whatever the measuring size is, and then so much water to match that to reconstitute it and make it scrambled eggs or whatever. So a lot of people are getting into that. Like groceries, I go to Restaurant Depot to get like seasonings and honey and flavorings and different things I need for the house. Like groceries are getting fucking ridiculous. I used to be able to go to the grocery store and spend, $200-$300. That would last maybe a good 2-3 weeks. Nah, that's like a week worth of groceries at this point.
Well,
Just to have
sometimes
breakfast,
it's
lunch,
even
dinner, and snack.
just a couple bags, depending on where you go. I
Right, and
know.
what you're getting.
Well, I know me and my girlfriends, we like to buy the chicken at Restaurant Depot because it comes in those like 40-pound containers, and what we do is split it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but even that has gotten expensive, but it's
yeah,
still cheaper. It's cheaper when you're splitting it amongst a couple of
yeah.
households than if you're just buying it. Like, yeah. So, I mean, this is ridiculous, but it's almost as if pretty soon it's like as if we're going to either starve or they're going to make you choose between having a roof and having food.
It's a little crazy at this point. Like it really is, because that's the true conversation that people are having to have at this point. I think that's why a lot of people are staying in relationships they don't want to be in, why a lot of people are getting
Mm-hmm.
roommates at this point, why a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are moving back home with their parents if they can, working 2 and 3 jobs, because literally just to feed yourself and your kids, your family, your animals, whatever, like the fuck. It's getting ridiculous. Sharice
Hey, Cherie.
said, I go to Costco and Aldi's most of the time. Now I'm not going to Star. I go to Costco. Like I love me some Costco. I was in there today buying dog food, but I literally went to Costco. What was it, 2-3 weeks ago when I was getting dog food, and I went in there for a $35, $40 pound, $40 bag of food, whatever it was. I walked out 100 and like 40 some, 60 some dollars later, just because I decided to get some grapes and some strawberries and like a couple of random items. It was not a cart full of stuff. It really was not. Like it was some dog food, some fruit, and like a couple of staples. I think some vinegar and
Mm-hmm.
some laundry detergent or something. Like it was basic stuff and some dog treats. Like that same
Right.
basket of stuff used to cost me like $70. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
right. It's getting ridiculous, but then at the same time, that's the conversation nobody wants to have. But
Yeah,
then you also have to think about the fact that while you got this going on, you also have these companies quietly laying off people and stuff. And they're
yeah,
not even issuing WARN reports like they used to be required to do. So they used to have to issue WARN reports. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but WARN
yeah.
report is what they used to have to issue when they knew they were going to lay off a certain percentage of their staff. And they would have
Mhm.
to issue that out so that the public would be aware. And more so, like the unemployment office and stuff would be aware too. And they have stopped doing that. And they're quietly shutting down businesses. There are companies that are quietly closing that have been in business like 100 years, 90 years. Like around here, I've seen at least 10 different businesses that have signs that say they're going out of business after 100 years or after 90 years. And, and it's just like, these are the conversations they're not having. And yes, right now, while there's houses on the market and they're saying, oh, we want to cut the percentage rates for the housing and things like that. Well, the quiet thing is that a lot of the lumber that builds these houses comes from Canada. And so when you have import taxes and tariffs and stuff like that on the lumber and stuff, pretty soon these houses are not going to be built. One, because the labor is gone, because let's just be honest, you and I both know that most of the labor that builds these houses was Hispanic. And a lot of them are not either not showing up to work because they're scared of INS or they've been deported already. And so the labor is not there. And pretty soon the product is not going to be there to build the house as well. So you already have a housing shortage, and then the housing bubble is going to bust because you have all these people out of work.
Yeah. I mean, even just the price of housing has gone up.
Right.
Just it's mind-boggling. I was having a conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago that reached out to me because they used to they reach out to me like every once in a while when they're trying to move, through the years that I've been doing this. And I've been looking for weeks for them and I hadn't found anything because what their budget is not matching what they need and what's available. You know what I'm saying? And I, it's heartbreaking because you have to look at people are literally having to choose. I get that there are some people that feel like I'm not going to starve or I'm not going to go without or I have everything I need. And that's a blessing. That's a blissful blessing to be in that experience. But I think the average person is not necessarily in that experience, whether it's because of health issues, which is oftentimes the cost of the work experience that we're existing in. You know what I'm saying? Our health issues are going up because people working 70, 80, 90 hours a week just to survive, 2, 3, 4 jobs just to survive. Cherise said the Latinos are not building houses nor picking crops like they used to. You get 1,000 square feet for 320,000. Yes.
Right.
And the thing is, like I said, the cost of our labor is our health, our well-being, our mental health. And so when your mental health and your physical health start to be an issue, now you're missing days off work. Now you're missing deadlines, which means what? Somebody about to get rolled up, put on probation, or either fired or demoted, etc. Hey, Alicia.
Lisa.
And so if you
Hey,
lose your job,
you better go to Walmart and buy one. I said you better go to Walmart and buy one of them tiny homes and put that up somewhere.
So let me ask you this thing.
Cash, if you ain't got the cash or the credit, what you gonna get it with? Like a lot of people are facing that. They don't have good credit. They don't have cash available. They don't have friends and family to borrow.
I said go to Walmart and get one of them tiny. You can buy a tiny home from Walmart, right?
Yeah, you can.
For how much?
It ain't that expensive.
Ain't that much. It's like
that
a share.
Expensive to you is different than that expensive to somebody else, Sean and Gypsy and me.
No, it may be like maybe 10 grand, right?
The average person does not have that stacked to the side.
Okay, so wait. Now wait a minute. So this is what I wanted to lead into our topic because of what you just said, Sean, what y'all both just said. So I wonder if we have more people willing to submit because they really can't afford to leave.
And medical bills, yes, Cherise, when you add medical bills, the cost of insurance is going up, the cost of doctor bills is going up. I still have business friends that don't have insurance. And I'm always telling them, like, yo, if you don't have a part-time job that offers you insurance, then look at most people still call it Obamacare, but healthcare.gov. Look at the local clinics in your area. But again, depending on where you live and what you have access to, some things are readily available to some that are not really readily available to others, right? So if you can't, like I know that Jennifer has shared. She's a whole fucking doctor, but guess what? She's been out with medical issues the bulk of this year. And no matter how much money you making, unless you got millions stacked up, after a while you're out of work and medical bills are adding up. Whether you got great insurance or not, you still are at some point are paying for prescriptions, co-pays, whatever the insurance doesn't cover until you meet your out of pocket. And some of these out of pocket and deductibles are fucking $10,000 for an entire year per person.
And you better start paying attention to your environment around you. When you start seeing the same name on multiple clinics in your area or multiple hospitals, that means they're all under the same umbrella. Yes. And a lot of them are getting under the same umbrella because malpractice insurance is so expensive. Now you're really limited in your choices. While you're thinking that you have 5 hospitals in your area, you may only have 1.
Cherise said, yes, and you have to get the foundation laid for tiny homes. I also want you to consider, because everybody says, oh, go get you some land. Well, now you have to talk about, where is that land located? What county is that land located in? What are the property taxes on that land?
Do you have utilities already dug, or do you have to
and
get utilities dug?
that's exactly where I'm going. How far is the dwelling place that you want to put on that land from your closest neighbor? Because if it's within so many feet, some of the times they won't tell you, but if it's within so many feet, technically you should be able to get the utility company to go ahead and add you on as an addition, right? And get your lines in place. But if you're further than so many feet from your closest neighbor, no, baby, that's out of pocket. That's another $10, $20, $30,000, depending on if you got to get sewer tanks dug, if you got to get, plumbing put in place, if you got to get water lines ran. And don't talk about if those water lines burst or if they rusted out and got old or got tree lines in them, because now you got to dig all that shit up. And depending on where it's located, the county may be paying for it or not. So, you know what I'm saying? Because I had a situation like that on a property I managed years ago. We got lucky. Like, we literally got lucky the first time the pipes burst after a bad freeze, and the county fixed it because of where the lines were run and what was our responsibility versus theirs. The second time it happened, and we were trying to go
to the house.
Too fucking close. And they had just changed it like 6 months prior. So that's out of pocket. They're not going to let you start water until you can pay for it out of pocket to get it done. That means renting equipment. That means digging up cement and concrete, grass, trees, whatever the fuck is in your way to rerun those lines, buying all the supplies, paying the crews. And guess what? If you don't have running water and power and or gas, that is an inevitable place, and you got to get the fuck out. That's for the health department. And what people don't know.
That depends on where you live at.
But here's the thing. What people don't know is that the health department can go to court and have you evicted. And the judge can sign the order for the sheriff's department to come evict you out of that place. And we've been there before.
Because it's not habitable.
Because it's not habitable, right? I've had to go through that with tenants before, where I needed a tenant to leave so we could fix it, and they wouldn't leave. And guess who stepped in to help us? Health department.
Because that's the thing, is they watch and monitor if you have lights, gas, and water.
Well, that depends on where you live at. If you out in the woods, it's none of their business.
That's very true. But the average person don't know how to live off the grid. They need electricity. They need running water. They need gas. They need food. They don't know how to raise crops and kill cows.
You can generate your own electricity. Trust me, it's for you. And shit, all you gotta do is look at YouTube. Tell you all that shit.
No, for real, I learned how to do lights.
You say what?
You can't look at YouTube if you ain't got no lights.
Well,
no electricity. No,
that would be true.
And no internet.
And no cell phone.
And no cell phone.
On another note, y'all, I learned how to do composting last week.
Did you?
I did. I got a whole compost outside now. It's churning and doing its thing. It's doing its thing. So it'll be ready in a couple of months, hopefully. But yes, I started composting because the cost of going to the store and getting freaking soil just to repot is like astronomical at this point for the decent soil, because you can get the cheaper soil. But by the time you're trying to add all the things you need into it to fertilize it and make it healthy and nutrient dense based on the different needs of the plant is ridiculous. So I was like, nah, we gonna start composting, because what?
You gotta get like some eggshells in there.
That's what we did. We got old fruits and veggies. We got dirt. We got dog poop in there, a whole bunch of leaves. I got 2 cans.
I was going to ask you what you was using for waste. I'm glad you're not using a bucket and gathering your own waste.
No. Right? I like a clean yard. I don't like walking through my yard playing landmine with dog poop. So I've always had a dedicated spot for the dogs to go potty. And so it's easy for us to use. I got the little thing with the handle. It's easy to go grab that, bag it up, and toss it in the can now. So yeah. But again, we know the average person doesn't know how to do that. What's up, said your boy said you want to give a shout out to him and his podcast. Huh?
I like what Cherie said right before that. Hey, your boy said.
And people may need counseling and psychiatrists with medication. Exactly. People go through decision fatigue for themselves, their parents, and their children. Yes. You also have to think in our age range, even if you got a 401k, which you got to think with the market up and down, those 401ks go down.
They do.
A lot of people don't realize that you might have had 100,000 in there yesterday. It might be looking real funny at 30,000 today. And that's real talk. Like, that's not even an example.
Not
That's
no
real
joke.
talk.
No
But
jokes.
also you got to think of the people in our age range and younger, because people had kids when they were older. People's parents have issues no matter what age they are. But you got to think a lot of adults are responsible not only for their children or themselves, but maybe a sibling that has health issues or needs help, and or family members or parents that need help. And the decision fatigue around that, the financial cost around that, because a lot of our seniors and elders didn't know, they didn't plan, they didn't have access, whatever the case may be. So they don't have life insurance, let alone good benefits to cover the cost of nursing homes or in-home aids, like a lot of the plans that we have now offer. So, and this is not to say that everybody out there broke. Trust me and believe, everybody out there is not broke. But
Everybody's
even
not
when
broke.
when you're making high six figures, the cost of things nowadays, along with the added burdens of living as a fully functioning adult with responsibilities, is a lot on anybody. Which, going back to your question of the topic tonight, is that why people are possibly submitting and surrendering? I don't know. Could it be?
Because the thing is that some people surrender when they are comfortable.
Very
Like
true.
they're comfortable in their surroundings, and while they may not like their actual situation, it's easier than leaving and struggling because they know they can't maintain the life. Come on, hear me out, Sean. I see you was like, wait a minute.
Now,
No,
I just want to know why everything gotta be negative. That's all I want to know.
no, I'm just saying it's easier to stay and submit than to get out and struggle, knowing you're gonna struggle because you know that with your income you can't maintain the lifestyle you've become accustomed to.
And I just
And
wonder
so
why is everything negative? That's all.
because well, listen, hear me out, Sean. That brings me back to the Diddy situation. And a lot of people say, well, why didn't she leave? Why didn't she leave? Cassie was with him for 10 years. Why didn't she leave? It was easier for her to submit and stay in that lifestyle and to hope that he would get her another album, get her an album, than to go out and struggle on her own. But eventually, she got to the point that the rewards weren't worth the strife. And she got tired of submitting and she left.
So I
No,
don't think
still
all
no.
surrendering and submission is a negative thing or a bad thing. I think there are plenty of situations
Nah,
where
I'm not.
it's
I'm
really a
not
good
saying
experience.
it is, but what I'm saying is most people always equate that to just like she just equated it with the whole Cassie situation. Like that's negative as shit.
That you saw my look, I was like, okay, but hey,
So
right.
like, but why does
Um,
everything have to be negative? Like, why can't a woman love her man and submit to him
so I'm
I
out
gonna
of
think
love
read
and not fear and oh, I'm gonna lose out on this or I'm not going to
struggle.
get that?
I'm gonna read Sharice's comment and then I'm gonna respond to you, Sean. Sharice said the capital society has us dependent upon the system. I remember we had blackberry trees, apple trees, different nut trees. Man, listen, I grew up in my granny's yard climbing mango trees, in my auntie yard climbing orange trees. I really want some pecan trees, but I am allergic to the dander of the tree. So I can't have
oh,
them. I can eat pecans all day, but the dander of the tree has me real sick. I am so sad about that because I want one so bad. You said I have a Vanessa realtor and she's having a tough financial time. And she has a few friends that help her out, but she doesn't have any men living with her. And it might appear to be negative, but it's the truth. So, Sean, to go back to your comment, I think me personally, right? I grew up in the church and I was real salty about submission. Like by the time I got into my 20s, I was so tired of hearing about fucking submission. It was one of the reasons I didn't want to get married, amongst other things, amongst other issues. Because I was like, no, just leave me in peace. And when I finally started to understand like how much from my perspective, because we all have our opinion, but from my perspective, when I finally started to understand how much people were truly perverting what the intention of surrender and submission could truly be, I ain't finna sit here and lie and say I want to get married, because I still didn't at that point in time. But I really started to understand that it wasn't a bad thing, depending on who's in your space and how you view it. Right now, I will say this: how it was taught when I was growing up was the woman, and a lot of men I think have perverted it intentionally as well for their benefit. But it was taught that, you know, the woman had to submit to the man, and I think they forgot the part that, according to Christianity, the man has to surrender to Christ or submit to Christ.
And
Well, the
it
way
says
I
the second part. That's the
right,
second part of that sentence, right after the semicolon.
so the way I look at it in my life, I don't have a problem surrendering and submitting in love with the person that I choose to be in partnership with. When I choose to do it, it's because I know that I've chosen someone that is also willing to surrender and submit in love to me. Meaning that when he need to run with it, I'm be like, babe, what you need from me, handle it. And when I know what I know and it's my level of expertise, or something that I'm the bomb diggity.com at, then I need for him to slow his roll and be like, handle it, babe, and I'm right here with you. Right. I think that's the true term of partnership, at least in my experience, when you got two people that ebb and flow and they weave this experience together, where one person is not controlling or dominating the other, but it's two accountable people saying, when you need to lead, whatever that moment is, you got it. When I need to lead, whatever that moment is, you got it. Now, I'm also the woman that says, I like a man that's a provider. That's really what I've been used to, right? Not say that I didn't have my own money and that I wasn't self-sufficient, but I've just really had relationships with men that were like, I got the household, here's what you can do, or you use it for that. You know what I'm saying? So I think the reason I'm bringing that up is I think that I don't even want to say the average woman. Most women that I know, in my limited capacity in this world of 8 billion people, most of the women that I have known or met don't have a problem submitting to a man they feel physically and emotionally and financially safe with. The problem comes in when you got the negacity to be talking about submission and you ain't even got no provision. But when a man is bringing something to the table, most women that I've experienced are like, hey, shit, what we doing? I'm following your lead. That's my take on it. I'll never tell you that I'm right all the time, but that's my take on it. And as far as Sharice's comment about the realtor, yes, I think that people, and not saying your friend, but you know, what I've met through the years, because I've been in property management 12 years, what I've met through the years is a lot of people think that realtors are always making bucks. And the reality is, unless you're selling $1 million houses on a regular basis, or you're selling like 10, 15 houses a month, you're not rolling in the dough like that, because you might make 5, 10, 15, 20,000 commission on one property. Yeah, you could. You absolutely could, right? On a mid-range property. But the reality is, how many months or how many years were you working with that client before you sold them that one house for that $20,000 commission? How much gas had you spent? How many tires did you have to replace working with that one client? How many hours did you put in it? How much stuff did you have to pay for as far as signage and all this other shit that goes into being a realtor, not on top of the state fees and all the other insurance that you got to add on to your regular insurance? You know what I'm saying? So I absolutely understand why she needs help. Like, we live in a society where the average person needs help, man or woman, I don't care. And Sharice said it might be, it appears to be negative, but it's true. And you agree with me, Jay. What was I saying? What do you agree with, Sharice?
She was
So, Sean,
agreeing
what's
with
your take on
the submission part, and I mean, I agree with you there as well. Now, I'm not saying it don't appear to be. It is negative when you bring up those connotations, especially like the the situation with Diddy and all that bullshit, and a lot of times, because even when you have that man that's the provider, they don't want to submit, and they still want to do whatever they want to do, and be like, fuck that nigga. Then when he gone, then they be mad and shit. because now they ain't got nobody taking care of them. They ain't got nobody paying their bills. Now they lonely. Now they trying to replace that, but they fucked it up.
Yeah. I think a lot of people say they want a man that's a provider, speaking from a woman's perspective. But I agree with you, Sean. I think a lot of women don't understand when you got that type of man that's really coming to the table, like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure you good, to make sure you safe, to make sure this household is handled. You said this before in past episodes. That means he's not gonna be sitting in your fucking face all day talking about, baby, I
That
love
part.
you. He gonna be at work handling shit to make sure y'all got provision, because these banks don't care nothing because he said, baby, I love you. These mortgage companies don't give a damn about, baby, I love you, and neither do they care about that for the card note. The grocery stores ain't gonna take no baby, I love you check. Like, you get what I'm saying? And so I think a lot of times they want somebody that brings all of these things to the table. And the reality is, depending on what his job is, because he may have a job where he can make that kind of money and be there with you all the time. But the average guy in society, if he's not in certain niches or jobs, he gonna either be looking at you or he's going to be at work and working. And so sometimes there is a trade-off. And if you don't want him to have to do that, then there may be compromises. Maybe he can't provide everything because you got to step in so that y'all actually have time to spend together. Maybe he needs to change careers. I mean, there's any number of things. But I think a lot of women are also
Selfish.
jaded. Selfish, yes, but I think a
Fucking
lot of women
selfish
are
as
also
shit.
jaded. A lot of women are jaded because they had a Jody, or they had somebody that they believed in, and feel like they got taken advantage of at some point. And then a lot of people grew up in the church like I did, and they like submit to who? What? I know you lying.
God, listen. I was a side hustle queen and still am. When I tell you I'm a side hustle queen, I am a side hustle queen. My hustles have hustles. One thing's for sure, and I think that happened, when I had kids. And even though my kids are grown, that never left me.
Because you don't know what to do with yourself. You're a busybody.
I agree with that.
Okay. You're right. But I tell you what, one thing's for certain and two things for sure. If one iron burns out, I got three more in the fire.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
And
I
that's
mean, we live in society where you need those multiple streams. It is
some people get so busy that they can't not be busy.
I can't
you know what I'm saying?
I can't sit still. You're right. I cannot sit still. And but at the same time, because I can't sit still, I can't respect someone that complains about not having, right? Complain about not having, but yet they have that. If you have a car or you have your faculties or whatever, and you ain't out here making no money, I don't respect you. And the reason is because I'm a side hustle queen. I get up on Saturday at 5:00 every Saturday, just like I do every Monday through Friday. And I'm out the house making more money, more money, more money. Why? Because I like things. I like nice things, but also because at this time, this day and age right now, you need to. There's no reason why I have not used any extra lights or nothing. There is no reason why my light bill has tripled.
Facts.
My light bill has tripled. But one thing's for certain and two things for sure, I ain't going without up in this bitch.
It's gonna get paid.
And I like little things, like food and shelter. And I'm gonna keep it up. But I'm just saying.
I like clothes on my back and underwear and bras too.
Right, but
you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta replace some bad boys every so many months, years, whatever.
And that's what I'm saying when I say that some people submit because they feel like they don't have any choice because they don't have that hustle in them. And to me, you're not in a relationship, you in prison. Because if you only submitting because you can't afford to stay by yourself, You in prison, hun.
So I think I kind of agree with Sean at this point. I think you're still going back solely to the negative aspect of people are doing it because they have no choice. But I tend to think it's because of maybe that person is not aligned sometimes. Yes, we all know it's cuddle buddy season. We were joking about that before we came live. It's getting to be cuffing season, and the homosexuals, whatever sex they may be or
Right.
gender they may be, are looking for a safe place during the wintertime, right? We get that. But that being said, I think a lot of people want submission. I think this listen, this is why you find high powered men that will pay a dominatrix, because they get tired of being in control all the time, making the decisions all the time. They don't want the executive dysfunction or the decision fatigue or the mental exhaustion of always having to be on, right, and figuring it out. I think a lot more women want a safe space where they can surrender, not being the bad bitch 24/7, not being the boss bitch 24/7, not having to have all the answers every single time they have to have something handled, right? But I think that sometimes they're just not with the right person
Right.
that is creating a circumstance where they feel safe enough to do that. I don't, again, I think a lot more people want it and they just haven't met that person that creates space for them to be like, you know what? Okay, this ain't so bad, or I'll give this a shot.
And I
Sometimes
think
you
a
gotta
lot of
be
women
that way around
don't know
life.
how to handle that. They don't know how to handle because when they had that, they don't know how to handle it.
Now you being negative.
I
What are you
loved my
doing?
I'm not being negative. I'm telling the truth.
I loved my
But she was telling
ex-husband.
the
I
truth.
really did. And I did submit at a time. However, once that trust was broken, and see, that's the thing. When you have broken trust, it's very hard to submit again to that person,
Yeah.
because they've broken the trust, right? And then after that, you're a little bit skeptical of everybody that comes after that.
That's why I said safety. I think
Right.
people have to
That be the safe
find
space.
the right fit. The
Right.
right person will create an emotionally and physically and financially safe place, no matter who's making the most money, her, him, whoever, they, etc. But when you feel safe emotionally, mentally, and physically, it allows you to realize that submission and surrendering is not about control. It's
And
about partnership.
I think that's the part that a lot of people. Well, first of all, a lot of people want to listen to all that fucking noise that's out there, and especially they want to listen to their friends
Yeah.
or their single friends that's hating on men or whatever the fuck, or has some issues because they shit didn't work out. So he put a lot of negativity out there. Girl, don't fall for his shit. This, that. And so then they come back with that bullshit. And you like, what the fuck? I'm just trying to be happy and shit. Like, let's be happy together. And they bring all that bullshit home and that fucks shit up. And with all the noise out there, especially if you be listening to like Cardi B, you know what I'm saying? Then
And do.
you wanna
And
you wanna
do.
you wanna be outside instead of
Listen,
in the house,
I'm
with
outside.
your man. All that shit, all that interference, all that it be clouding judgment because a lot of women they'll fuck up a good thing real quick, thinking, "Oh, fuck that nigga," and it's a good thing, even if he's not making as much money as you are, but together y'all can come together, and but they'll fuck it up, chasing
Right.
after something else that don't never happen. And then they sitting
So
there with they friend that's hating on men that's perpetually single in the club together, dancing in the corner together because shit, they ain't got nothing else to do.
so I got a question for you, Sean, dude, because you're saying a lot of women have messed it up when they've had a situation where they could have submitted and had a great guy, provider,
Mm-hmm.
whatever
Mm-hmm.
their idea of a good man is. Do you think most men or the average man even knows how to create space for a woman to be
Mm.
able to submit?
Not the average man, no. But
Because
a
I can
learned
agree with you that a
man.
lot of women fuck it up, but I think a lot of men fuck it up too.
Now, but I can't speak about men because I don't deal with niggas like that, so I don't know. I can't speak on that part. I can only speak on the men that I know that, I know what be going on now. Yeah, someone be fucking, and I'll tell them, nigga, you fucking up. But a learned man can create that space because he has spoken to other people. He has learned from his elders. He has learned from not only the men in his life, but also the women in his life,
Yeah.
like aunties and grandma, and so he's learned those things. So and granted, now I don't know how far and few in between they are. I don't know. Like I said, I don't fuck with niggas like that, so I don't know. But I know they out there.
So I think I shared with you all, um, probably we were debriefing one day or either when we were pre-gaming. I think I shared with you all. I remember talking to this guy that was trying to date me, and I think we were the same age, so old enough to know better, right? Have some different experiences.
Right,
He
right.
didn't have any kids. And he was sharing with me that his previous relationship had been like 2 years. They had lived together. She had kids from a previous marriage. And he was saying how he was, wanting to learn and prepare himself to be a husband and get ready and all these things because he wanted to get married. And so you ask each other the different questions and get to know each other. And some kind of way it came up about like household bills and stuff like that. And I was like, I've never, number one, I've not lived with a lot of men. I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
It's either, you know, um, been my ex-husband or somebody I was in a long-term relationship with. Like I just haven't made it a habit to live with a lot of different people, right? But the few men that I've lived with were provider types. So it was never a situation where, okay, we're gonna split this bill and you pay this half, I'll pay this half. It's always been a situation in my experience where they covered the household and maybe my money went to go into like the savings account for vacations, or I paid for date nights, or bought the toiletries or groceries or whatever. And then I've also had a situation where I didn't have to pay for nothing. Like it was like take your money and pay for school and different things that I had going on at the time. And so when I said that, he was like, see, that's the problem with women now. First, he went left by saying it that way to start off. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, continue. And he was like, because everybody want a provider type man now. Why? I
What?
said, so what would you consider yourself? Because didn't you say y'all lived together for 2 years and she had kids in the household? Like, was you helping pay? But like, what? Help me understand because I'm a little confused. How, sir, do you say that you want to get prepared for marriage and you live with a woman for 2 years that had kids in the household? And yep,
What
I
was
can go and tell you this ain't gonna work. I said it. No, but give me a chance. I don't want to because I can go and tell you this ain't. No, I don't even want to waste your time or mine. I bid you adieu and have a good day. Good luck. Cause no,
See, that's the problem with y'all women.
ain't no fucking way. No. But I was confused. Like my gabbers were flaccid because I said to myself, not so. Now I know I heard him say this, and how does this make sense in his head? But
I can tell you how
I
it
couldn't
makes
understand
sense.
how a man in his 30s had never come across a woman that I don't. Hey,
I can tell you how it makes sense. Well, not really how it makes sense to him, but how it makes sense in general.
mm,
Because a lot of times a man will be chasing that bullshit ass dream of I'm supposed to be the provider, I'm supposed to take care of it, pay all the bills and shit, and then get shitted on.
mm.
it?
And not in a good way, like that's what he want, but in a way that she ended up dropping his ass, leaving or whatever, and then tell him he ain't never did shit for her. And
That
that
makes
that
Mm-hmm.
makes a man feel like, okay, fuck that. Why would I put myself out there? Why would I bust my ass doing all this shit? I'm up here working all this overtime, but then I'm getting accused of being out cheating when I'm
and
working to pay all the bills to take care of your fucking ass, you and your fucking child. That ain't even mine.
see that I get
Mm-hmm.
that because I unfortunately, in my line of work and mental health and well-being, I've heard that story more than I care to count. And I do absolutely understand how that can piss somebody off. I am surprised there's not a lot more murders. I honestly am.
Right.
Because
That's
no,
fucked
I'm
up.
just being honest. Like, you know what I'm saying? that's why I always tell people when I have conversations, like, don't do shit to nobody that you're not prepared to deal with the repercussions, because that small lie that you feel like ain't that big a deal might be the thing that makes that breaks the camel's back with that person. And when your ass in here choked up, or they busting the windows out your car, because men bust windows just like women, women
Right.
fight just like men. And so whatever your gender, your sex, your identity is, like, don't fuck over somebody that you're not willing to deal with the repercussions. That's my standpoint. I always tell people I don't lie. I don't care if you my man, you my bestie, you my client, and I mean that shit, because listen, when you tell a lie, you got to remember who you told it to and what you told them
And what
and
you
all the
told.
details. And you got to
Mhm.
keep remember, I don't have that much brain power to dedicate to them lies. I got
Exactly.
too much other shit on my mind that I got to stay focused on and keep track of. So it's like, I'm gonna tell you what it is and keep it moving, right? But so my point is, I absolutely understand why, somebody finding out that the child isn't theirs, or somebody finding out that they've been cheated on, would make them want to go postal. I get it. But I still think that once we get of a certain age, we have to be thinking I say we have to, because I guess you ain't got to do nothing but pay taxes and die at this point in life. You should
Mhm.
you should want to think in terms of partnership, because even my longest relationship, we never lived together, but he still paid bills in my house. Anything that needed fixing, he came and fixed it. I'm on the
But
road, my
see,
tire flat, I'm calling him before I call AAA. Like, I just have been used to that type of guy. And so when I look
but
at the
see,
comparison of a different type, I'm like, the fuck.
a real that's what a real man gonna do. And it's not like he got to do it. He's gonna do it because he wants to do it.
Right. I think
But
that's what a lot of women don't understand coming to the table. They are making demands, and it's like, if you got to demand it, you
exactly,
don't really want to do it. And if he don't want to do it, and you feeling
and
some kind of way, y'all don't need to be
mhm,
together. Because I've
exactly, and
never had to demand that.
that be the problem, because in today's society, everybody wants to follow these societal norms that they think is that's just social media. That's they just pushing that shit on you because that's what they want to feed you, because they want to keep that divisive line there
Yeah, yeah,
to keep us beefing with each other, especially amongst black people, because
yeah.
they can keep telling us this and telling us that, and we feed into that shit.
The bullshit. Yeah,
We
Right.
gonna stay down. We gonna stay down. Yeah, they
yeah.
could deport the illegals, but they can't
Mhm.
deport us. So what's the next best way?
I just have a quick question for folks. I mean, now that you brought that up about the illegals, what do they think they're gonna do with like Alcatraz Island and all these other places they got once all the illegals is gone? Because it ain't gonna be but a little bit of a time before it all be
They
gone.
looking at us.
Who you think gonna inhabit the new place?
Right. They looking at us. But you know what? Y'all done heard me say it time and time again. Listen, baby, I love me some black men are like the most magical thing on the face of the earth, other than black women to me. You ain't gonna never get me to say otherwise, because have I seen some trash ass dudes? Yes, of every single culture. But I have seen more amazing black men than I can count, and more amazing black men than trash dudes. Like, I know we see all that bullshit on social media. I'm with you, Sean. It's hype, right? It's viral stuff that
Right.
they just put out there to get the numbers. But almost every black man that I know that is in a relationship and or married is a provider type, whether he calls himself that or not. Here's another thing. When I was dating, I was like, if you gotta tell me you're an alpha dude, I'm running. Cause
Mhm.
you ain't gotta tell me. If I
You
can't
ain't gotta
already
say
see
it.
it and discern it through your experience with me, you not.
Yeah,
You trying to play,
you ain't gotta
and
say it.
we ain't got time, right? And so I think a lot of times women are trying to make a man something that he's not, and then saying ain't no good men, or I don't feel, I don't want to surrender because it's a bad thing. Just like there are a lot
Right.
of men that try to make a woman something she's not, and then they feel like all women are that way, and that's not the case either.
And
And I feel you, but the thing is, just like women, when they keep running, well, if that's what you got turned on, that's what you attract. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
well, the thing is if you're giving off toxic energy, you're gonna attract toxic people to you. Um, and it's hard.
That's not what I thought you was going to say.
Listen, listen. I
I
can
thought
admit,
you was going to say toxic coochie.
hey, Hey, once upon a time, I was giving off toxic energy and was attracting toxic men, and I couldn't
Oh
understand
God.
why I kept dating the same type of men with different faces.
Yeah,
And the thing is that when you give off a certain type of energy, that's what's going to come towards you.
yeah.
And so, yes, Sean, I do understand what you're saying about the submission and saying that all submission isn't negative, which it isn't. However, some people are attracted to the vulnerability that you have to have in order to submit. You have
Expound
to
on
be,
what you're trying to say.
you have to be vulnerable and open in order to submit to someone.
Yeah.
Right? And some people, unfortunately, some people who mean you no good are attracted to that vulnerability so they can exploit it.
You keep going right back to the negative,
But when you find the right person, you'll be okay with being vulnerable and stuff and letting your guard down.
now you're trying to clean it up.
No, it's just that you're gonna have to go through you just gonna have to go through a lot of frogs before you find the prince.
That's
Or
not
prince.
true though. They might not have to go through but one or two frogs to find the prince. They might find their prince or their princess right off the bat. Like everybody not out here getting their heart broken 1,000 times before they find true love.
Hey, if you had the right conversations before you just start jumping the gun, that would alleviate a lot of shit.
You know what I've been saying the whole time we've been doing this podcast. If people had more conversation before they started
Right,
fucking, we'd have a
right.
lot less toxic relationships and a lot more healed people. But and I get there's the allure of the new, the fresh meat, whatever. But still, I am a fan of communication and asking each other questions. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know the whole viral thing on social media with some people was like, I'm not going to no Olive Garden. I ain't going to no park to get no damn ice cream on no first date. I think that's a great first date to go get ice cream or
Yes.
coffee and tea, to go to the zoo and walk around, because instead of you sitting in a movie or a restaurant where you can't really talk just because you want that person to spend a lot of money, like put yourself in a situation where you can actually have conversations first before you go to the restaurant or the movies or the fine dining or the different things. Yes, that man, if he really wants your attention and he's got those finances and those resources, he's going to want to do those things anyway. But
I
there's
tell you
nothing
what,
wrong with having fun and getting to know each other before you place all those demands and expectations of what a person has to be spending on you.
I tell you what, if
Mm.
you think we gonna have a first date that's gonna be $200, $300, you best to believe you gonna be sucking and fucking. Cause I ain't doing that shit. And that's just what it is. Point
He said
blank.
what he said.
That part.
$200, $300, I can just go get a hooker and cut out the middleman. What the fuck? I don't, I don't do hookers and nothing. I'm just saying, like, fuck. Like, that's
I
bullshit.
mean, you got
That's
a
not
point
that's
though.
that's not getting to know you. That's getting to know that you like the one you want to eat a big ass steak. Oh, so okay, this and that's not, man. Fuck, you gotta earn that shit.
Well,
You know,
yeah.
all these niggas be out here simping, and then they be like, yeah, I took her out a couple of times, but ain't nothing ever happened.
You
Nigga,
say
she got some simping. Nigga, she just got a couple of free meals out, so you spent like $600, $900 on her, taking her out to all these goddamn restaurants, and she eating up the whole fucking menu, and you ain't got shit to show for it. Fuck out of here. She played the fuck out of you, and she playing somebody else right now.
Ooh. I mean, I felt that you said that with your chest.
I be trying to tell niggas, nah, man, you got it, nigga, you tripping.
right.
Because if she don't appreciate going somewhere with you to get to know you, fuck her. You tripping, nigga. You tripping. And you out here simping. I mean, I know you got it. Yeah, I could afford it, but you gotta earn that. Just like nigga need to earn pussy, right?
Yeah, cause
You
broke
know,
niggas don't deserve no pussy.
I mean, I don't know nothing about that because even when I was broke, I still got pussy. So I don't know nothing about that. But
I don't
anyway,
know how, cause broke niggas don't deserve no pussy.
because I got charisma, shit.
Okay, then.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yo,
Yeah.
niggas gotta earn it, right?
Oh my God. But that's just, I don't even know what to say, because that brings to mind the misnomer that, if you sleep with a man on the first date, he's gonna think you fast, and if you make him wait, he's gonna respect you. That shit don't really even matter, because if he wants to respect you and he sees you as
He
valuable,
gonna
he's gonna do that regardless. And
he
if
gonna
he don't
respect
want to
you.
respect you or see you as having any value, it don't matter whether you make him
Right.
wait 90 days or 5 fucking years. Because some people see the chase in that and they want the chase. So
Right.
And that shit
again,
is
this is
stupid
why
to
I
me
feel like
too.
communication is key. Get to know the person, feel their vibe, feel their energy, so that you know how you feel around them and what you pick up from them. This is why I say know thyself, heal thyself, trust thyself. Because the more you know yourself, the more you heal yourself, and the more you trust yourself, it is easier to discern other people and have some fucking emotional intelligence. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And yeah, I mean, because I never was one to subscribe to that. Oh, if she gave it up on the first night, she must be a hoe. Like that don't make no sense to me. Like, why would she be a hoe just because she gave it up on the first night?
Right.
Why ain't you a hoe? Because you gave it to her on the first night.
Right.
I'm just
Exactly.
asking the questions here. I'm just,
I'm with
Yeah,
you. Listen,
that's why I
that's the
said it.
same question. Like, if she a hoe, ain't you a hoe too? How that
right,
work? If you
Yeah,
calling
I
him a
mean,
hoe, ain't you a hoe for sleeping with? Like, how he wanted or
right.
she want, but you not?
but it's supposed to make sense because I'm a man. I'm supposed to get it. Like, okay,
You-
all right, whatever. I don't
Or
know.
that's like the whole
I never.
body count conversation.
Yeah,
Like, oh, I can sleep with 200 women, but if she got more than 20, she a
yeah,
used up. Blah
yeah.
blah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But you not used up community property, sir.
no,
Meanwhile, your bed notches on your bed look like Woody Woodpecker been hanging out.
but there's, I mean, men got fucking super fragile egos, which I don't understand that. Like,
Oh
how you
God.
a man with a fragile ass ego? Like, fuck out of here.
That's what Cardi said in Outside. She's like, yeah, man be tripping that if she do him like he do her, oh Lord, that nigga be in the car.
She gonna keep talking about Cardi. Oh Lord.
That my shit, boy. But I'm
But that's
saying,
like I said, men have
she'll
to.
have that dude right in the corner. Like seriously though, men can't take it when it's done to them.
But that's like I said, the men that have to walk around calling themselves alpha men, that is so not
Are you
attractive to
really
me,
though?
like at all. And I
Right.
get it that there's some women that call themselves alpha women, so they find it attractive. If it works for you, do what you do. But I just always have the mindset that if you got to tell me, then you really not it. Because it should be displayed in your essence, in your energy, and your charisma, how you
Exactly.
handle things, how you carry yourself. Just like whatever a woman tells you she is or isn't, you should be able to discern that in her behaviors, her mindset, her character, how she portrays herself. Her words can back it up or identify it, but you should be able to see those things in her experience.
Right.
Because
Well,
I mean, I'm gonna
it's
tell
some
you, I
hoes
heard
that be
this.
wearing long skirts down to their ankles and be looking prim and
Oh,
proper like Little House on the Prairie,
mm,
baby.
I
Or he
ain't
be
gonna
looking
tell
like
you.
Carlton from Fresh Prince with his cardigans on, and they be the worst people.
I ain't even gonna tell you how when I was younger, I used to run through churches. That was the best place to find them. Oh my god.
run through churches. Ooh.
Yeah, the hoes in the church. Oh my
Yeah,
god, they was the freakiest
yeah.
of freaks.
Or like
Oh,
women used to
shit.
love the band boys and the church musicians. Cherie said my ex friend told me that he took a girl out to dinner multiple times, and once he dropped her off at home, he doubled back and found out she was getting picked up by another man, and he was hurt. Oh damn, he was hurt that
Ah,
he didn't get the cookie, but he believed the other dude did. Damn, that is
yeah.
kind of
Um,
cold blooded.
that's what I be saying. Keep going out here dropping all that money on these shorties, thinking, oh, this, that, and the third, this gonna get me in there. Okay.
That part.
Mm. But I saw this post online, which I had never thought about this before. But dude said, "quote These are his words, not mine. Why a nigga that always beating on bitches always got a bitch to beat on?
Goddamn.
Never thought about it before, but I was like, damn, really? Wow. Never thought
Because
about that,
it's
but
like
that's true.
somebody knew he was whooping her ass and still decided to go be with him, thinking she was going to change him. Why?
Right. Right.
Or why what? See, it's a conundrum. I think it's a circle because men can say choose better. I'm just, go with this example. Men can say choose better. And in some
Mm-hmm.
cases, the woman should have fucking chosen better. He's absolutely right. But then you still fucking with her. So should she have chosen better, not chosen you? Then, we can say, well, she shouldn't be having all those babies. But she not having them by herself because somebody keep having sex with her to get her pregnant after she had the third, fourth, and fifth one. Then we can say that man got too many kids, but there's somebody out there dumb as hell after he had the fifth and sixth one to keep sleeping with him and turn around and get pregnant with the sixth, seventh, and eighth, and 10th, and 25th, and whatever else. So it's
Now
like, who's responsible? Because somebody's having
I
sex with somebody to keep having all these babies.
I will say this because a lot of niggas do be lying because they be having 7 kids. Like, no, I don't got no kids, and then they get pregnant and they be like, well,
Very
yeah,
true.
I do got 7 kids. This is my 8th one, and
Very true.
I'm
But
This
like,
my
sometimes
stop
last
they
that
knew.
one.
bullshit.
This my
I'm talking
last
about in the cases
one.
where they knew, like y'all in the same neighborhood, your friend know they friends, your bestie dating his bestie. Like there's some, yes, people lie. We know that, or there are women that have lied. Her mama or her sister or her cousin or grandma, whoever might be raising her kid, right? So you might not know she has any kids. We know people lie. But I'm talking about in the case of the person telling the truth, or you see them, like they can't lie because you see it. You know they got all these rugrats, and you turn around and have more with them. And if he didn't do her ass right, or she didn't do him right, what made you think that all these chances they done had, they was finally ready to do better and find Jesus and be a good person? Like
I
this
mean,
man has a lot of kids in Country Wayne. I don't agree with it because I think no matter how much money you have, you still can't be physically present for all them kids unless they're in the same
Right.
household. And even if you're all in the same household, after you have so many, somebody's still going to get left out or suffer. But I
But
do feel
also,
like at least they got some money to take care of the damn kids. But when you broke as fucking, you got 10 and 15 and 20 kids, that's a real issue. Like,
but
come on.
you know what that tells me too?
Mm.
That you got dirty dick. Because you indiscriminately
Oh, well, yeah.
are
Okay.
screwing without protection. And
now
so
I can't speak about Country Wayne, but Nick Cannon didn't indiscriminately do nothing.
He choosing his women, ain't he?
He choose his women. All his baby mamas, they might not be superstars, but they not no ghetto shorties.
but he still is sleeping with a bunch of women without a condom. And so, listen, let me just tell you something. If one thing's for certain and two things for sure, what the Diddy trial taught me, besides the fact that they like to whoop up on women, is it's a lot of sharing going on. And sharing ain't always caring. And you don't know who out there is trying to become the next star, the next Beyonce or whatever, and is willing to do whatever out there. Because if he's sleeping with her like that, ain't no telling who else she's sleeping with like that. And that's all I'm saying is in those circles, you don't know who's passing what. I heard a lot of those folks in Hollywood have herpes. They passing it around like luggage. I'm just saying. And so when they have all these damn kids, just like Stefan Diggs, can't respect him. Dude,
Who?
you got 2 kids like a month and a half apart.
Who is
And
that?
then that's Cardi B's new baby daddy.
Oh.
And you got Cardi B pregnant and she can have your third one. So you're gonna have 3 kids under 3. They gonna be ghetto triplets.
Jesus. Okay. So that just kind of proves the point of what I was saying. At least both of them got money, I guess, right? So their
It
kids
don't
are going to
matter
be
about the
provided
money
for.
though.
But let me finish the statement. At least they have money, so their kids will be financially provided for. But I think the emotional bullshit that those kids are going to have to go through being so closely tied together in age is crazy as hell. And that just proves my freaking point. Like she knew he had babies however many weeks or months apart, and
She
people do
did
this
it.
shit all the
This
time.
all just came out in the last couple days. These women are now surfacing with all of these paternity suits and stuff.
But
But
their whole thing was built on that there was an open relationship.
it was an open relationship. But the thing is open doesn't mean unsafe. But yeah,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying their whole thing was built on So she knew he was fucking other women, and like she had supposedly other dudes around or whatever the fuck. So
Oh wow.
it's whatever it is.
Cherise said the music industry is freaky anyway.
It is.
Orlando Brown. Who's Orlando Brown? Said that
He
Bow Wow
was
You don't
on
know?
That's So
had good
Raven.
pussy. Did he go both ways?
Yeah, he was on That's So Raven.
Who?
He was on That's So Raven.
Yeah,
Never
you don't know
watched.
who Orlando Brown is? That nigga is
Yeah.
wild. Like I don't like
He
he
was
got
the
it.
one that had all them tats on his face. He was on Dave. What was that guy's name? Dr. Pinky or what? Dr. Drew. Yeah, that crazy Dr. Drew.
I'm gonna have
Yo,
to look it up because I have no idea who that is. I know
he
Dr.
went
Drew, but I
on
don't know who Orlando Brown is.
Yeah, Orlando
he went
Brown.
off the deep end. I don't know if he did drugs or whatever happened, but yo, he crazy.
Oh
Like, he
wow.
crazy.
You said he said Bow Wow had good pussy. Damn.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what? I can't.
Mhm. Yeah, did he go both ways?
Well, we knew
I
that
mean
for
that was
quite a
yeah,
while.
that was already
Yeah.
established, we know.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't know how many of those in the industry do. And that's why I'm like,
I don't care. That's
no,
Listen,
but
the
we don't care
but
about the industry because the average person ain't sleeping with the industry. We talk about right here in our neighborhoods. People need to be getting STD tests before they start a new relationship. Even if you've been with your person 10, 15, 20 years, get fucking tested every once in a while because things can lay dormant and
STI.
pop up at the most inopportune times, like medication, chemo treatment, radiation, different medications, different medical crises and health issues in your physical body can exacerbate your immune system and force those things out of dormancy to be like, hey, how you
so
doing?
there is a motivational speaker that I follow named Lady Bird.
Yes, and HIV is up here in Georgia. I remember
Right.
Conyers,
Yeah.
Georgia, and Covington used to be like fucking insane back in the day with
Yeah.
STDs.
Well, Lady Bird is somebody I follow.
Ooh.
Her name is Lady Bird, BYRD. And she's somebody I follow. And it turns out, matter of fact, she actually pressed charges against her now ex-husband. She waited until they got married before they started having unprotected sex. But his mother had asked her to ask him about HIV. They had went to the doctor together to get tested. But while the doctor is in the room, the doctor can't disclose it. Your partner has to disclose it. And her partner said he was HIV negative, and the doctor didn't correct him. So anyway, long story short, she became HIV positive.
Oh wow.
And she sued him and she pressed charges for him
Yes, she
knowingly
should have been
giving
able
her
to.
HIV, and he actually went to jail for that. And
Because
he
isn't
is
that
now,
considered some type of assault?
yeah, in North Carolina, it was considered assault. And so when he got out of jail, he's been out of jail. And so she does her best to try to educate people about him because he is still knowingly infecting people.
That's such bullshit.
Yeah,
So
he's
Yeah.
knowingly infecting people. He
I
knows
mean,
he's
he should be facing
his
attempted
ass
murder
should be in
charges by
jail,
now.
right? His ass should
right,
be in jail.
but so she's been like trying her best to spread the word, and she tells everybody her stories, and
Hey,
she's
Nadina.
trying to spread the word. But her name is Renee Burgess, and
Okay.
she was born in Jacksonville. But in 2008, she became an activist after being diagnosed in 2007.
Isn't this something going around on TikTok? I want to say I saw a video. I forget what they call it, but there's some type of term they done came up with where like people are still doing that. Like if they know they have something, they're intentionally going around infecting people. I
Yeah,
forgot what they called it, but whether it's
I know what they
HIV,
call it. Right.
AIDS, herpes, gonorrhea,
Herpes,
chlamydia, whatever,
yeah.
any STI, STD, whatever, like again, this is why I advocate for communicating. Look, I know people that have never physically seen their person's body with the lights on. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Somebody need to be looking at something and inspecting something. You're going to have to get over your shyness, your insecurities, because You need to be able to look at a person's body and see that they're healthy and they don't have lesions and outbreaks and warts and whelps and all kind of stuff, as well as getting tested, as well as asking questions, and as well as regularly, getting tested. Because just putting a condom on in the dark and y'all don't never turn the lights on, they can have all kind of shit that you'll never know. And that condom could burst if you're using a condom or a dental dam. If you
And
give
they
it
call
oral
it
fixated
stealthing.
cunnilingus and all the other shit, you damn
That's what
sure
it's
looking
called.
at a person's body. What?
That's what it's called. It's called stealthing.
Stealthing, yeah.
They take the condom off because they knowingly have something and they take the condom off.
Or poke holes in it.
Yeah, or
Like,
poke holes in it. Yeah.
But like I said, the number of people that run around talking about they love to give head or love to eat pussy, like, I'm gonna need you to get a test first and look at that person's body and make sure that they don't have any visible issues. Because what the fuck? No, and y'all, this is serious. Like, seriously, even dental hygiene. Like, if your person is not brushing their teeth on a regular basis, making sure that they're, using some type of mouthwash to get up in their gums, and if they have bridge work or, things like that, like, if they're not taking care of their teeth and their gum and their mouth health, and they're performing oral sex on you, that can pass through and cause issues, especially for women if they're receiving cunnilingus, and causing all type of infections, BV, and all kind of things, throwing your pH off, right? But same thing for her if she's got, unclean mouth and she's giving you head. Like, come on, y'all, let's do better. One last question before we end for tonight. I want to ask y'all this. Do you think that there's a big difference in the number of people we see? Well, no, let me phrase it this way. Do you think there's a reason why people seem to be more against submission and surrendering in a relationship versus what we grew up seeing back in the day? Because we most of the time saw dad and granddad, uncles, whoever come home, hand that check over. She was handling the household bills, paying everything. He got his little money, went on about his business, kept things running while she, do y'all think there's a big reason why it has shifted so much outside of financial freedom for women? We know that's one of the obvious, but and people like to say, well, you could afford a household back then. I mean, they made less money back then too, and things might have been cheaper, but they made way less money. So that reason can't really hold up all the time. But what do you guys think?
Nah, but I mean, shit was cheaper, so it correlated. But now it takes multiple income streams to be able to afford shit because shit is astronomical. But anyway, it's modern media. Bottom line, that's what it is.
I was about to say the same thing, Sean.
That's just what it is. We feed into this whole stereotype that they force feed down our throats and think it's supposed to be this way and that way. And us as melanated people feed into it more so than we should because that ain't never been us, never been our way. We always came from a village.
Yeah, I do think we see a definite decline in sometimes the level of support we have in our neighborhoods and how neighbors encourage each other and build that intentional village. Now it's kind of like, don't talk to my kids, don't tell my kids nothing, I deal with them, and they ghetto as shit or ratchet as hell. It don't matter what color, what culture, what community. You see more
Nah,
kids.
but they wanna act quote unquote black. They act like that, because they not coming from the suburbs acting like that. Now if they in the suburbs, yeah, they Karens, but they still not acting like when they, so you know what I'm saying. But that's what it is.
Maybe
It's
we
the
should talk
whole
about
culture.
that next week, guys. What does it mean to act black when it's somebody else not within our culture that thinks that they're emulating our behavior? Oftentimes it's like a fucking character because it's not actually how we behave all the time. Anywho, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Love the discussion that we had. Wherever you're from, thank you for being a part of our online family. Make sure that you click that subscribe button so that you get notified when we go live. Make sure that you hit that like button on this video before you click out tonight. And make sure that you grab that share link so that you can tell somebody else that you like and love so that they can jump in the conversation. Even if we're not live anymore, you can absolutely catch the replay and jump in the comments and share your thoughts, and we'll be sure to reply to you. Because I'm just saying, if you're not telling the people that you love, I don't think you really like them like that. These are important conversations. I'm just saying. We will see y'all next Monday at 6 p.m. East Central Standard, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And with that, what did Tevin Campbell used to say? Audi 5000. Peace.